Well, hello to all of our viewers. I am so excited today and appreciative today to get you the opportunity to listen to a story from Dr. Richard Sinkin and his whole experience going through cancer and cancer treatment and where he is today. And I've asked Richard if he could start by just telling us a little bit about who he is. It's an amazing story. He wouldn't say it as such, but I certainly do. And then to go through what's occurred for him with his whole experience with getting cancer and managing his way through it up to today. So Richard, please tell us your story.
All right. Well, the quick version is that I've essentially had two careers. I started out as professor of Latin American studies, teaching at the University of Texas, taught there for 17 years, got bored, had written all the books I was going to write, decided to try something different, came out to San Diego and started a business, a consulting practice, helping companies structure and implement fairly large investment projects, industrial projects in Latin America. Mexico was our prime target, but we worked in Brazil and Chile and across the board. And I did that from 1987 until about 7 years ago. And I had, along the way, small signs of problems, dysplasia on my gums that local dental surgeons were just taking care of. 7 years ago, I was diagnosed with a very life-threatening squamous cell carcinoma tumor of my entire lower jaw, bone, and soft palate, and ended up being treated at MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston, an absolutely phenomenal place. And those folks changed my life, saved it, and also changed it. I sort of ended up shutting down the business pretty much. It's hard to, I've been trying to kill it for 7 years and it simply won't die. We were really good at what we did. But my focus has been on recovering from the treatment. The treatment was thermonuclear war on my head and neck, basically. They described it as first they were going to do a very experimental dose of chemotherapy, 3 doses actually, and to poison the tumor as much as they could. And of course, as you all know, when you poison tumors, you also poison everything else around it. The good news for that treatment is that it killed the tumor. It did a lot of collateral damage, which I'll talk about in a moment, but it killed the tumor. And I thought I was home free because the next 2 parts didn't seem very attractive of this therapy that they were proposing, which was to remove my lower jaw entirely and replace it with a fibula bone from my leg and skin grafts off my leg. And as you can see, they did that. And this chin is actually thigh skin. And it's all held together by a fibula bone, which is broken and has titanium plates to computer model to match my old original jaw. And then after that, it was 6 weeks of daily radiation, which in many ways was probably the worst part of the whole thing. By the time I got to it, of course, I was pretty beaten up and the reserves weren't there. The bottom line for all of this is that it all worked. I am now 7 years past treatment. 20% of people who get the tumor in the style and the place that I had it only 20% live 5 years after treatment. And I'm going into 7.5 now and feeling great. There's a lot of collateral damage along the way, as I mentioned, and for example, in radiation, your skin just is burned to a crisp. And I asked about skin products that I could use to at least mitigate some of the horrible reaction I was having. My wife took design what she called radiation design, which is to take T-shirts and cut out large swaths, because I was all burned completely across my chest and my face, and the touch of fabric was horrific. I mean, excruciating. So they gave me a bag, and in response to my request, they gave me a bag of all kinds of over-the-counter salves and creams and so forth. And I tried everything, and I mean everything, and nothing worked, not a thing. I got no relief from any of it, and it's all, products that you see all the time as claiming to help with this kind of stuff, these kinds of collateral damage from radiation, and it doesn't. A friend of mine introduced me to Steve and to Greg McGuire and to the whole NeoGenesis line. And I must say, I have had phenomenal success with it. Two examples. One is that one of the other parts of the collateral damage was horrible tongue lesions from the radiation. And there's an oral, this group has an oral cream that has essentially shut those lesions down. I do not have them anymore. And if I do get them because of a prosthesis, irritating my tongue or something like that, it goes away within a matter of maybe 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, whereas before it was 2.5 to 4 months before I got any relief naturally. And of course, they're scary. When you get those lesions, you think about maybe the cancer is coming back. So not having them is a good thing. Another example was redness in my cheeks. You can still see some, but before I started using the NeoGenesis product, I looked like, a raving drunk, and just all red and inflamed. The redness is dialed down. It has not gone away, and there's not the dermatology folks and my medical team at MD Anderson think it probably never will go completely away, but at least I look a lot better, and I'm not as red. Of course, I'm assiduous about using sunscreen, and I play a serious competitive tennis now, and I'm very careful about not going out, even if I'm just driving in my car, without using sunscreen, because if I don't, it really will flare up again. But this is controlling it. I have a team of 33 people at MD Anderson who take care of me on a regular basis. I'm there now on a once-a-year full-on scale, and whenever I need it. It has been an incredible experience. I just cannot imagine. I know if I had not done this and basically moved to Houston for 6 months to get treated, I would not be alive today. So I'm excited about being alive every day, and I'm excited about being part of this group that's doing some really interesting things that have clearly helped me already. And I suspect more good things are going to come out as the research goes along and the product development takes place. So that's my story.
Yeah, and I appreciate you sharing your story. Just for the sake of it, could you tell the story with Merrilee and what you've been seeing with her arm?
Yes. So my wife is Merrilee, and we're in our 70s, and she is having bruising on her forearm, and just shows up. I mean, she doesn't have to really hit herself or run into anything or smack her around, which I don't do, of course. It turns out, according to our dermatologist, that she has a real issue with collagen decline in her arms. So her skin doesn't have resilience to withstand just even minor contact. And so we're in the process now of, she's had these bruises on both arms. We have been treating one arm with the NeoGenesis product and not treating the other arm with anything. And the difference is night and day. I just cannot believe It's been about 2 weeks now. And on the arm that's being treated there's just a little bit of redness left. And the arm that has not been treated, it looks like it did 2 weeks ago. It has not changed at all. And that's the only thing we're doing with it is we're using the recovery on it first, and then a blend of the intensive moisturizer and skin serum on it. And it's working.